So what were you guys' biggest takeaways from the Bills preseason win over the Colts this weekend? Hold up. Before you write in the comments, let's bring in the Bills beat reporter for Syracuse.com, Matt Parrino, to get the 411 on Bills camp and how he felt about their first preseason game of the 2023 season. Matt, thanks for joining us, man. Thanks for hopping back on. Let's get straight into it. Let's talk about this offense, man. Josh Allen, he didn't play, but he did get to call a few plays over the headset. Matt Barkley, the backup quarterback, had himself a good night. So what are your thoughts on the Bills' offense, not only preseason game number 1, but throughout training camp?
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting that they come out and go heavy 12 personnel. That's what we heard about all offseason long, especially since the draft, when they drafted Dalton Kincaid. And they put a little bit of that run game on tape, right? Like handing the ball to James Cook, letting guys get out in space. We saw Trent Sherfield, their new addition at wide receiver, out on the touchdown run, blocking on the outside, Dalton Kincaid blocking. Then we also saw their second-round pick, Osiris Torrance, play the majority of the first half, and he looked really good. This is a big development. If they can hand that job over to him, I think he has the chance to be a significant upgrade over what they had on the interior a year ago. A lot's being made of the backup quarterback competition. Is it Matt Barkley? Is it Kyle Allen? I don't know if it matters as much as people kind of like to talk about it this time of year. If Josh Allen misses an extended amount of time with how complicated this offense is and all they ask him to do, it's probably not going to be great. But they have a guy in Barkley that knows the system's been there for a while. And Kyle Allen, I think he can make a lot of mistakes right now because he's still learning this new offense. It's very complicated. They ask him to play the Josh Allen role when he's out there. It's hard to do.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are looking at us right now like, you guys are talking about the backup quarterbacks. Just ask the Chiefs. Chad Henne stepped in, drove them down, 90-something yards to keep their season or keep their playoffs hope going. So quarterback 2 is huge when it comes to NFL football. You talked about 12 personnel. That's a lot of run. It's a lot of run game going on. You got a superstar receiver like Stephon Diggs on the outside. He may not catch as many balls as he's used to. So over the offseason, there was obviously the drama between whether Diggs was happy or upset. So how's that chemistry between Diggs, Allen, offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey been looking? Is it safe to say the drama has been put to bed?
I think it has for now. And I think that everybody's bought back into what they're trying to do. And I think one of the things that Stephon Diggs probably realized is that he is in a window with a chance to win a Super Bowl with a team that's very talented. And they've kind of learned some lessons over the last couple of years of like what hasn't gone right. And so I think that there's buy back in. You got Ken Dorsey in his second year, and there's a lot of lessons that he can learn from a year ago. When they get in those spots where Stephon Diggs isn't as much a part of the offense as he needs to be, Ken Dorsey should have answers now to go back to try to get him going. Now, Dalton Kincaid opens up a completely different part of this offense that I think is going to allow Stephon Diggs to eat even more. It's a part of the offense that was lost the last couple of years with Cole Beasley kind of moving his way out and then out of the offense last year. They try to bring him back, reconnect some of those things that never really worked. So Diggs is still going to get his. I still think the targets are going to be close. But if Kincaid can come in and kind of inject some life into this passing game and help unlock this running game, I think Stephon Diggs will be okay with it as long as this offense is finding success.
Yeah, with a big play receiver like Diggsy, you want to be able to run the ball. You want those safeties to have to stack the box. Anytime you can play too high and keep somebody over the top of him, he's not going to get the targets as he's seen throughout the playoffs these last couple of years. Let's switch over to the defense. I want to get your opinion on this because the defense is going to be without defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier. Does that hurt them this season, or do you think that they still have enough talent on that defense to be a top defense in the league?
They definitely have the talent. And I wonder if this isn't just a good time for both sides to break. Like Leslie Frazier was really important to this build. He was one of the most talented defensive coordinators in the league. I was advocating for him to get a head coaching job. I think guys really respond to him. But he was being asked to run Sean McDermott's defense. And what better way to fix some of the problems that have popped up in the playoffs the last couple of years than eliminating the middleman? Now Sean McDermott's going to be the guy coordinating this whole thing, operating the defense as he sees fit. I think it's going to be better things for coverage on the back end, probably at the middle level. And then on the defensive line, they went out and they brought in Leonard Floyd. They got an ascending player in Greg Rousseau. You put Von Miller on ice for a little while, and they also signed Poona Ford on the interior to bulk things up against the run there. I think this has a chance to be one of the top defensive lines in the NFL, especially if some of these younger guys, the Boogie Bashams of the world, AJ Epinesa, take that next step and become a consistent part of the rotation.
Yeah, I played Madden last year. Anytime you play the Buffalo Bills, just run the ball through that interior defensive line. They couldn't stop anything, but that was Madden. But I like what you said. I'm going to keep an eye on this defensive line this year because you're saying they could be one of the top defensive lines in the NFL this year, and that would do numbers for that defense. Let's end this thing on a great note, positive note. Damar Hamlin suited up for the first time since his health scare last season. You've covered this man since he came a Bill. What did it mean, not only to you, we can personalize this story, but to the entire fan base to see him suit up, go out there and play the game he loves?
I mean, it was so special to just see, like, the emotion on his face, the emotion on his teammates' face. I mean, it's just like this complete contrast to the scene on the field in Cincinnati back in January. Like, players crying, hugging each other, and really trying to deal with the trauma of it all. Fast forward 7-8 months here, and just the joy of seeing him make plays and play the way that we remember Damar Hamlin playing. Like, there were times last year when I wrote about him being a really nice piece to a defense that lost Micah Hyde, at times were without Jordan Poyer, and they relied upon a 6th-round draft pick in his second year to step up and play important snaps. I mean, he played almost 900 last season. And so for him to be able to get back in such a short amount of time to play the game that he loved, I mean, this was the final big hurdle. Like, it's one thing to play without pads. It's another thing to play in practice with pads where you're kind of playing thud up. It's a whole different thing to go out there and actually tackle. And so, he said it was super fun and a great experience, and I think he's going to build on it. He said it's just another milestone, and it's going to be fun to watch him continue to pile those up.
Yeah, I love the way the team rallied behind him, but the way that fan base rallied behind him. Bills Mafia, salute to you all, and congratulations, Damar Hamlin, getting back out there on the field. Matt, this was great, man. We got to come back to you sometime throughout the season. Thanks for joining us.
No problem, anytime.